Oh, man. Oh.
Hey, Andy Steiger here. I'm in Toronto to check out Wes Huff's crib. Let's go take a look.
Hey, come on in, guys.
Dude.
It's right on in here. Hey, Jill, what are you doing?
Organizing your guys' entire lives.
You're awesome, Jill. Thanks.
Welcome to my office.
All right, so this is the Wes Huff office.
This is the digs. You'll probably recognize this from the AC podcast or YouTube, but it's a lot smaller than you'd think.
Yeah, which is interesting because actually it works well to have it smaller.
Yeah, we fake it.
Yeah. Tell me about your books, Wes. Like, are they organized in any sort of fashion?
Yeah, so all my books related to the Bible and biblical history are in here. So we got my biblical commentaries, all the New Testament stuff over here. We got languages on the bottom shelf, and we have all of my Old Testament commentaries on this side. So it's kind of situated in Old Testament, New Testament, and then over there, we have some historical Jesus books. So I got a bookshelf over there with all my historical Jesus books. And you know, if you're in the mood for a party, we got a Coptic dictionary. So lots of good stuff.
So I got two questions for you. Mm-hmm. One is, where's that famous book that you pulled off the shelf during the Billy Carson debate?
Yeah, so I got a bunch of different facsimiles all over the place, but this is the New Testament facsimile of Codex Sinaiticus. So this is just the 27 books of the New Testament. And that's the one that I turned around and pulled off the shelf and asked Billy where he should show me where it denies the crucifixion. But I got other facsimiles here. This is P66, 2nd century Gospel of John. This is the New Testament of Codex Vaticanus, which is a 4th, 5th century New Testament. And then I have, P45, P46, P47, a Duro Bible up there. So all around, I got some different photocopies, facsimiles.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, you also have a number of facsimiles here. Some of these you've made, some you've purchased.
Yeah. So some of the actual images of the manuscripts I've purchased. These papyri ones are ones I've made. So this is one I made, which you'll recognize if you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, because I made a version of this guy, P52, for Joe Rogan. But I've also made, when we did the second episode of Can I Trust the Bible, Andy?
Yeah.
We talked about P-Oxy 2 or P1. And I went to Pennsylvania to the university there at the museum and saw that. And that's the one that I made when I was sitting right beside the actual manuscript. I sat down and I cut out of papyrus a recreation of it and then copied the text.
Which is fantastic. A lot of people might not know this about Wes, but Wes is an artist. You've done a lot of different, drawings and stuff like that over the years.
Well, that's where my, motivation for my infographics comes from, is kind of like the art background.
Yeah. Now, the other question I wanted to ask you, and this is a question that I'm always thinking about when I go and see somebody's, library, the books, that I want to know what books, if is there one book or maybe a couple books that you would say, man, this was a very influential book in my life?
Yeah, so early on, F.F. Bruce's The New Testament Documents, Are They Reliable? Really made an impact on me in terms of the fact that it was brief, but it highlighted a lot of these issues. Now, this is a newer printing. F.F. Bruce wrote his original edition decades ago, and it's just reprinted. But the stuff that F.F. Bruce talked about then, a majority of it, if not the vast majority of it, all of it, is still applicable to what we read about with the New Testament documents. And that sort of dipped my toe in being interested in, okay, what are the documents that get us from the ancient papyrus to the modern day print?
So when would this have been published?
1960s, 1970s. Yeah.
Any other books that you would pull off the shelf and go, man, this really had an impact in my life?
A lot of the books getting involved in, F.F. Bruce, again, the canon of scripture, some of the books on the canon by Michael J. Kruger, just documents that talked about where we got the Bible, where it came from. When I was really trying to figure out, can I trust this thing? Can I put my life in this person, Jesus? These documents, these writings by both academics and lay scholars really went a long way in giving me the confidence to think, not only is this something that I can put my trust in, but it's actually a field that I could actually get involved in.
Now, we can't neglect to see all these swords going on here. Walk me through these. Like even this, I don't even know what to call this.
It's a knight helmet.
Now, a knight helmet. Was this after the Joe Rogan podcast? First of all, you had some, but then other people gave you some stuff afterwards. Was this something somebody gave to you?
Yeah, I got someone gave that to me after. So I, had an interest in swords, in martial arts, and I had some, swords of my own that I had collected. A couple, katanas. One here. There's another one up on the wall over there, and then I had some other medieval swords. But it was posting those videos years ago. I haven't done a sword video in a while, but I guess there were a couple of people who'd followed my content, and since everything got really popular, just to say thank you, they sent me a couple swords. So
show me them.
That guy on the wall there, that's a Scottish claymore that someone sent me. What is that? 4.5 feet long.
That is quite the sword. Can I hold that?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's pull it off the wall.
I'm just gonna hold this while you show us the rest of the swords. This isn't a joke sword. Like this isn't a prop. This is like a real sword.
That's a sword that you could legitimately go into battle with if you wanted to.
I feel like I'm in battle just holding this thing. This is amazing. Okay, now what's this other sword?
So someone else sent me this one, which is, it looks like a katana, and it is like a Japanese style sword, but this is one specifically designed to do martial arts demonstrations. So unlike this one, which is like spring steel and is,
it's like legit.
Hardened, this is made of aluminum to be light. So you can kind of, spin it around, throw it, catch it, that kind of thing. So it's very different in terms of its function and form.
So besides swords and medieval helmets, some people also gave you, this, by the way, this is like, it's actually sharp. People also gave you some like old Bible pages.
Yeah, so we had a guy who sent us a number of Bible pages. So, shout out to the guys at the Tennessee Bible Museum who put these together for us. So this is a 1549 Matthew Tyndale Bible. This is a page from 2 Chronicles from a 1549, the actual, not a facsimile, not a photocopy, but an actual page of that historic Bible. And so they sent one of those, and then they sent 3 others from the Geneva Bible. So this is a 1602 page from a Geneva Bible. So a lot of people are probably familiar with the 1611 King James Bible, but there were a number of other English Bibles that predated that. There was the Matthew Henry's Bible, the Great Bible, the Geneva Bible, Tyndale's New Testament, and Wycliffe's New Testament. And so just someone who wanted to bless the ministry, encourage us, sent a bunch of these. So we're really appreciative of...
Even to our staff.
Yeah, the ways that people support us financially, and through prayer, and occasionally through swords and manuscripts.
Now, before we leave, I think it's important for people to appreciate that not only do you have books, swords, and helmets, you also have a refrigerator.
Well, you got to make sure you get the important things.
You got to stay hydrated when you're reading.
Yeah. And, if you ever are thirsty, you just grab a little water from just a little jug to make sure that you're well hydrated.
This is a classic, by the way, with Wes. We'll be on a Zoom call or whatever, and then all of a sudden you just see this giant water bottle come out into frame, and you stay hydrated. I appreciate that.
It's an important factor.
And least we forget, keep calm. I'm an apologist. This also has become kind of famous as well with you.
Yeah. Well,
Tell us about that.
This is a mug that a friend of mine who runs the Social Apologist website. He makes this kind of stuff, and so I got him to make me this mug. Keep calm, and I'm an apologist. It has P72 on the back, which is our earliest copy from the Biblical New Testament that has survived from 1 Peter. So this on here has 1 Peter 3:15. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have, but do so with gentleness and respect. And so I got him to print that on. And during the whole Billy Carson escapade, I was, sipping some coffee from this, and
yeah, there's some coffee left in
remnants.
there. Remnants. Hey man, thank you so much for showing us your crib.
You know what though? This isn't it, because I got books that don't fit in this room.
So there are more books.
There are more books.
How many boxes are we talking here? Okay, so where are we now?
So all of my books don't fit in my office. So all the ones that have to do with like direct biblical studies that I'm going to reference, I'm going to pull off the shelf, those are going to be in my office. But I have books on all sorts of topics, philosophy, history, world religions, that are an entirely separate room in this building. So I've moved all the ones that are applicable and tried to organize them to the best of my ability. But Andy, there are actually 12 boxes.
You have 12 boxes besides what's going on here.
But what's in here in the basement of this building as well.
So I'm seeing some philosophy going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm seeing a lot of philosophy going on here. And just kind of general Christian books.
Yeah.
Seeing some commentaries over here.
Yeah, so we got a lot of philosophy on the top. These are all books that have to do with science. This is just Islam. And then these are all other world religions, some like worldview issues. There's a section on atheism over here. And then just kind of a hodgepodge of other stuff related to history, church history, history in general. We have some books on biblical hermeneutics, and then a lot of biographies over on the shelf there. So all of the books that I have that deal with things that, I would saunter over here and reference, I have out. But like I said, I got boxes of stuff that is, still things that I'm interested in, but I just have nowhere to put them.
I know that's the problem, right? Is where do you put them? Now, that's one of the things that's beautiful about digital books as well, is especially if it's one of those large volumes that you can put it on digital. Where do you like to keep your digital books?
Well, I think, Andy, both you and I use Logos Bible software. So if you are looking for maybe to clear out some of your physical inventory, if you go onto logos.com and you download Logos Bible software, they have the ability to just put on whole digital libraries of commentaries and books.
And the beautiful part about that is it's searchable. And I love some of the new features with Logos that they're AI features that make the searching of the books even more applicable, and even not just searching for things, but also to synthesize information is fantastic. I don't know about you, but when I go to somebody's house, this is one of the first things that I want to see. I want to go and I want to see your books.
Yep.
And do you do the same thing?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I'm scanning their bookshelves. I'm seeing what are they reading, what is their interest, and what topics could I, take a gander at.
Well, hey, thanks for letting us come in and take a look at your bookshelves and to see what you're reading.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Of course. Gotta love the books.
This is wrong.